Momo Ayase is fresh off a bad breakup when she steps in to protect a quiet nerd in her class from bullies.
Wow.
He's obsessed with aliens, she believes in ghosts, and they roast each other so hard about it that they make a bet. Momo goes to a creepy abandoned hospital to prove aliens are fake, and the boy heads into a tunnel famous for a ghost called Turbo Granny.
Gotcha,
Momo actually gets abducted by aliens, the boy gets possessed by Turbo Granny, and the show basically tells us, yes, both aliens and yokai exist. Using the strange powers Momo awakens, the two manage to wreck the UFO and escape. The boy finally gives his real name, Ken Takakura, but Momo immediately calls him Okarun after her favorite actor, and the nickname sticks for the rest of the series. They end up at Momo's grandmother Seiko's place, who just casually happens to be a hardcore spirit medium. While Okarun recovers and Seiko tries to keep the Turbo Granny curse under control, the supernatural do not take a day off. A massive sumo-like figure shows up, and everyone assumes it's just some angry ghost. Turns out it's actually the Flatwoods Monster, an alien, which already sets up one of Dandadan's main themes, spirits and aliens constantly crashing into each other's territory. Okarun convinces Momo to unleash her powers again, and in the middle of the chaos, he transforms into a yokai-like form that lets him coexist with Turbo Granny's curse instead of being destroyed by it. Even with that power-up, he gets badly injured, and Momo has to outsmart the monster. She baits it out, uses a talisman at the perfect moment, and burns her way to victory. She passes out from exhaustion, which lets Turbo Granny fully take over Okarun's body. Seiko arrives like a one-woman exorcist army and shuts down the possessed Okarun. After he wakes up, Momo explains how she gained psychokinetic powers, and Seiko drops a bomb. Turbo Granny has fused with a stronger crab-like spirit in the tunnel, making her even more dangerous. Her advice is simple and terrifying: do not fight her in her home turf. Momo refuses to just sit and watch Okarun suffer under a curse. Seiko tells them to train in the outskirts where the spirit's influence is weaker. But Turbo Granny isn't the type to send a polite invitation. She threatens to keep killing people unless they face her in the tunnel, forcing the group into a risky plan. Once they enter, everything goes wrong. Turbo Granny strips Okarun of his curse, effectively depowering him, and corners them with her new crab monster form and a wave of corpses. Momo turns the fight into a deadly game of tag, buying time for Okarun to snatch his curse back. They flee, still chased by the monster, until Momo pulls a crazy move. She lures Turbo Granny onto a speeding train heading into the outskirts. In neutral territory, with Seiko's help, they finally defeat Turbo Granny and break the curse, at least on paper. They take time to honor the spirits, and Turbo Granny's tragic backstory gives the arc a surprisingly emotional ending, showing that even the scariest yokai in this series started as a hurt, lonely human. Back at school, Momo and Okarun's relationship starts to look more like a rom-com. A clumsy moment turns into an accidental kiss, their classmates assume they're dating, and embarrassment explodes into an argument that sets the tone for their deliciously awkward dynamic. Then Okarun discovers something terrifying. Even though he got his banana back, he's missing his balls. They rush to Seiko for help, and she performs a ritual that drags Turbo Granny's spirit into a Maneki Neko doll. Turbo Granny explains that Okarun's missing parts transformed into golden kintama filled with her aura, turning them into spiritual magnets that attract trouble. The situation escalates when Iris Shiratori, the same student who mocked Okarun earlier, reveals she can see Momo's powers and casually shows off one of the golden kintama she picked up after their last battle. Turbo Granny senses Iris' spiritual awakening, but instead of a calm training arc, we jump straight into chaos. Ira tries to exorcise Momo, convinced she's some kind of demon. As if that wasn't enough, a spirit in a pink dress appears, calling herself Ira's mother, and kidnaps Ira. Momo and Okarun dive in to rescue her, only to get swallowed by this strange being, acrobatic Silky. Inside, Momo uses Ira's crosslighter to ignite Silky's hair, forcing her to spit everyone out. It's classic Dandadan, horror, comedy, and insane visuals in a single scene. They manage to defeat Silky and reclaim Okarun's kintama from Ira, but there's a heavy price. Ira dies after being used as a host. Silky, who is not just a monster, but a former single mother with a brutal, tragic past, offers her own aura to revive Ira. When Momo links their auras, she sees everything Silky went through: assault, her daughter's abduction, and her own suicide, turning what looked like a villain into one of the most heartbreaking characters in the season. Ira returns to life, and the scene becomes strangely beautiful. Momo cries as she witnesses Silky's regret, and Ira thanks her, promising never to forget the woman who protected her. But in pure Dandadan fashion, Ira still thinks Momo is some evil demon controlling Okarun, so their relationship remains hilariously complicated. Turbo Granny reattaches Okarun's Kintama, and the story moves on with everyone emotionally scarred but stronger. Things calm down for about 5 minutes of screen time before everything explodes again. Momo sees Okarun in a very compromising position on top of Ira, actually just an accidental fall after Ira confessed, but Momo only sees betrayal. Their jealousy and miscommunication build up just as reality starts breaking around them. Okarun notices the school flooding and classmates vanishing, realizing he and Ira are trapped in another Serpo incident. The Serpo aliens, obsessed with stealing banana organs for evolution and reproduction, return and capture Okarun while knocking Ira out. During the madness, Ira awakens Silky's powers in a new way, turning her into a key fighter, while Okarun literally joins the battle naked because, of course, he does. The realm floods further, summoning a plesiosaur-like creature nicknamed Nessie that wipes out the Serpo. The water boosts the mantis shrimp's strength, and Ira gets knocked out again, raising the stakes for Momo and Okarun. In the middle of chaos, Okarun asks Momo to stop bottling her feelings and actually talk when she's upset, slipping some emotional development into the insanity. Momo and Ira end up in just their underwear to move freely, pure Dandadan energy, while a Serpo fuses with the Nessie and the mantis shrimp to create a grotesque final boss. The trio struggles hard, but eventually wins and returns to school, only to face the most terrifying enemy of all: social embarrassment and misunderstandings. After the battle, guilt starts to gnaw at everyone. Ira, who spread rumors about Momo, decides to take responsibility and shuts down the harassment at school, finally stepping fully onto the main cast's side. Momo and Ira later find the wounded mantis shrimp and carry him to Seiko's house, which at this point is basically a supernatural shelter. They learn the alien's son, Chiquitita, is dying from blood loss. Seiko offers milk, which works as a blood equivalent, and the grateful mantis shrimp pledges his help. This is where Dandadan quietly builds its bigger world. Even former enemies can come back as allies when survival is on the line. Then Gigi appears, Momo's childhood friend and first crush, and Okarun's jealousy hits maximum power. Seiko reveals Gigi's parents are in the hospital because of supernatural events, and that multiple spirit mediums sent Gigi to her. He moves in with them and transfers to their school, instantly shaking up the group's dynamics. At school, as Gigi and Momo naturally fall back into their childhood closeness, Okarun panics, worried she'll move on from him. His attempt to impress her gets completely derailed when he spots a walking anatomical model called Taro and drags Momo into another bizarre chase. Momo sees something shiny under Taro's groin and assumes it's Okarun's missing Kintama. Together with Gigi, they chase Taro to a junkyard, where it's revealed the shiny object was just a Christmas ornament. Amid all the chaos, Taro's love for another mannequin, Hana, gives Okarun the push he needs to fight for Momo instead of just sulking. They bring Hana back to Seiko's house to wait for Taro, keeping the mannequin's tiny love story alive. Meanwhile, Gigi is haunted by visions of the spirit responsible for his parents' condition. Momo, Gigi, and Okarun head to Gigi's cursed house. Okarun tries to show off his interests to impress Momo, but ends up bonding more with Gigi, low-key intensifying the love triangle. Momo senses something lurking and heads alone to an onsen, where she gets cornered by the unseen spirit, while the boys discover a hidden room covered in talismans. That's where Season 1 leaves us, dangling on a perfect horror cliffhanger that sets up the cursed house arc.
Oh!